What's up, guys? Artem MMA Analysis here. Gonna be talking about UFC Fight Night Gane versus Tuivasa. This is my very early prediction, so I haven't actually researched the card yet. I took the whole week off. You would think, man, maybe he's put in a little bit of work, but nah, I had to take the whole week off. Sorry, guys, I've been pretty burnt out. This is my last week of working my 6 days a week job, so now I'm going to be starting a new job starting next week, where I'm working a Monday to Friday, which is so good because this is the first card that I'm going to be able to watch live. I watch a lot of fights on repeat because I work on a Sunday, and because in New Zealand we're so far ahead of everyone, the fights are on like during the day on Sunday, so it kind of sucked. But now I've got the weekends off. I'm so hyped. These fights are on at like 4 a.m. The prelims are on at 4 a.m. and you know I'm getting up for those, man. But let's just talk about the fights. The first fight of the night, you got William Gomez versus Jano Ehrens. Jano Ehrens from the Netherlands, William Gomez from France, and this is a short notice replacement fight. Not really replacing anyone, it's just a short notice fight in general. They wanted to get another French fighter on the card, and they were pretty happy to sign Jano Ehrens to fight him. But I think that William Gomez is probably the guy they want to win. I mean, it's in France. He's a slight favourite. He's 25 years old, and he's got good wins on his record. I would be lying to you guys if I told you that I know exactly who these guys are. But, yeah, I think that both guys are good fighters. Jano Ehrens has good wins on his record. Like, this guy has fought good fighters in his record for sure. But I'll be going with Gomez here, I think. But maybe that could change. But a lot of people picking Gomez and that one there. Now, the odds for this fight, I'm very interested to know, why is Aylin Perez a plus 275 underdog? Because this fight's taking place up at 145 pounds. Definitely eager taking the fight up a weight class, and I believe that Aylin Perez has been fighting at 145 for like her whole career, even though she does stand at 5'5", so she's going to be shorter than Iga anyway. But oh no, this was at 135. Why is the fight at 145? Because she had another fight booked at 145. Now it's back up. Anyway, yeah, I like Stephanie Eger's judo. Like, she's got a really good Swedish judo background. I don't know why I said Swedish, but anyway, she's got a really good background. She's got a few gold medals for her country, and I think she's even got some international judo medals, question mark. But yeah, Aylin Perez, I don't know why she's such a big underdog. I need to look at this fight a little bit more, obviously. Iga just got subbed recently by Mayra Bueno Silva in like the weirdest fight ever. It was strange. Let's just move on before I start rambling. Now, we've got Kelly Taha versus Christian Canonis. Christian Canonis is taking this fight on short notice. I believe he only accepted the fight a few days ago, so this is a 1 to 2 week sort of short notice sort of fight. But I think that Christian Canonis should be able to beat Khalid Taha. I mean, Khalid Taha, all of his losses in the UFC are to great guys. I mean, Nad Narimani maybe he lost in H2L, but he beat Boston Salmon, who was coming up. He he beat Bruno Silva and then failed a USADA test, who was coming up at the time. Hoyono Barcelos was coming up at the time. So, okay, Morozov was coming up at the time as well, I guess you could say. Like, he's kind of been the guy that would test a lot of fighters, and I think he's just going to be testing Christian Canonis. I'm picking the underdog in Canonis. I like him enough to pick him, obviously, but yeah, the Dana White's Contender Series fade is real. Like, I'm watching a lot of Dana White's Contender Series fights even this year, and there's a few guys that I'm thinking of fading, but I think Canonis is a good one, man. I think they should be able to win. I mean, why is Tapology picking 78% Canonis, and the odds have Taha as the favourite? That's crazy, but yeah, I'm going to be going with Canonis. Moving on, we've got Benoit St. Denise versus Gabriel Miranda. Going with Benoit St. Denise. This guy's a pretty good fighter. Gabriel Miranda, took the fight on somewhat short notice. I believe Benoit St. Denise was meant to fight Christos Gialgos, and Christos Gialgos fell out because he cracked his hand or something, or cut his hand on like a porcelain toilet. And now UFC signed Gabriel Miranda as a short notice opponent. But this guy, you know, he hasn't really fought great competition. You know, like, he's got a lot of good submission wins, which you love to see. He's a finisher. He's got no decision wins. He's got 15 wins by submission, 1 win by KO. I love that from him, you know, but the problem is this guy is just not finishing the greatest level of competition, you know, and I think that, yeah, Benoit St. Denise, I mean, prior to the UFC, he was also fighting good competition, and, but every time Gabriel Miranda's fought someone quite good, like Akhmed Magomedov, who was for it, at the time, he's lost. That's it. I just think Miranda isn't he's experienced, he's super experienced, but he's not really experienced against high level competition. I think someone like Benoit St. Denise can beat him. He just beat Nicolas Stolze. I think he should be able to beat Miranda in this one. I'm going to go with submission, actually, because Miranda's a grappler. St. Denise is mostly a grappler as well. Should be a good fight. Nasruddin Imavov versus Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley keeps proving me wrong, man. I keep picking against Joaquin Buckley, and he just keeps winning. Like, I picked Abdulrazak Al Hassan to beat him, and he won. I picked Albert Duraev to beat him, and he won. I picked him to knock out Antonio Arroyo, and he did that. But I'm 0-2 for my last two Joaquin Buckley picks, so maybe I'm not the guy to give you a breakdown of this fight, but I think that Nasruddin Imavov should be able to win this fight. He's just more well-rounded, in my opinion. I mean, I just said, like, Joaquin Buckley's be surprising me, but it's just because I've never been super impressed with Joaquin Buckley. He's cool, though. Like, he's really trying to market himself. I think it was his last fight. He had that viral Tik Tok self-defense coach or something in his corner, which was kind of funny. But, I mean, I guess Nasruddin Imavov's got a couple of good wins on his record. The Phil Hawes loss isn't the greatest, in all honesty, but Phil Hawes is making a pretty good comeback. But I'll go with Imavov to win the fight. I'm conflicted because Buckley keeps proving me wrong. He just keeps proving me wrong and making me look silly. But Faris Yarm versus Mikhail Figlak, going with Mikhail Figlak. I watched his last fight live on Cage Warriors. It was about a month ago, where he took on a guy that I thought was going to test him. I didn't make a video about it, but I think I was thinking Figlak would win, but I wasn't sure at all because he was taking on a really good level competition, 15-3, Agi Sadari. And prior to that, he's been fighting good guys. He's the Cage Warriors champion, obviously. He's got that belt in the photo. But, yeah, Faris Yarm also got cut from the UFC. And then he got re-signed. Like, I don't know why they cut Faris Yarm in the first place. He lost to Terrence McKinney, and then they cut him. I believe they released him or something like that. And now they've re-signed him for this fight. He's probably a pretty live underdog in this one here. Like, he does have a pretty good win over Luigi Venturamini. And he does have a win over Jamie Malaki as well, who's coming up as himself. So, I like Figlak, but I think Faris Yarm isn't a guy you can sleep on. I think he should be very live underdog, but I'll side with what everyone's going with in Figlak there. Dustin Stoltzfus versus Abu Sapai and Magomedov. Abu Sapai and Magomedov is meant to debut like 3 times, and he keeps like pulling out of fights, and it's so annoying because this guy's almost 32 years old now. He will be 32 years old at the time of the fight, and he got signed to the UFC, I believe, after he beat this guy in 2020. He took a year off and then pulled out of that fight, and then he's burnt out his prime. He's burnt out his prime between the age of 30 and 32. And it's quite annoying because I feel like Abu Sapai and Magomedov could have gone on a pretty good run. You know what I mean? But Stoltzfus just bounced back with a good win over Dwight Grant. But I think Abu Sapai should win. But I'm just kind of weird situation. Like, I don't know why this guy waited 2 years. Like, he kept pulling out of fights. Maybe he was injured. But it's just a shame that happened to him, because I feel like he could have made a run. But now he's like too old to be a prospect. You know what I mean? Yeah, weird situation. Charles Jourdain versus Nathaniel Wood, picking Charles Jourdain. Nathaniel Wood dominated Charles Rosa in his return, and he went up a weight class. And I remember watching that fight and just thinking, Nathaniel Wood looks great, but he needs to stay at 135, and he's not. He's fighting Charles Jourdain. I think Charles Jourdain's going to win. I'm picking Charles Jourdain by knockout. He's due for a knockout. I know that makes no sense at all, but Charles Jourdain hasn't got a KO win since 2020, I think, at this point. And or maybe 2021, but before that he hadn't got a KO win since 2019, I think, but over Doo Ho Choi. But I think Charles Jourdain is due for a knockout win. That's a terrible reason for why I'm picking someone to win by knockout, but I do believe that Charles Jourdain's going to win anyway. Charles Jourdain's striking's quite weird. Like, he throws and then he resets and then he throws. Like, it is weird, I guess you would say, but he's also a very well-rounded fighter. He had a close fight with Shane Burgos. I thought that Shane Burgos won, but a lot of people seem to think that it was like a draw, or even Jourdain could have won that fight. I gave it to Burgos personally, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think Charles Jourdain just wins it, to be fair, and also he's the home favourite. I believe he's French-Canadian as well. Nasrat Haqparast versus John Makdisi. This is a fight which I think has been booked a couple of times and just hasn't quite worked out. I'm going to be going with Nasrat Haqparast. I've got a lot of respect for Nasrat. You know, he took the fight against Dan Hooker on short notice, and he had a lot of things going on in his life at the time. And then he fought Bobby Green. That didn't go his way either. He's just kind of outpointed at range, or just beaten up at range really for the whole fight. But yeah, I feel like because Nasrat Haqparast did that favour for the UFC, they're trying to do him the favour too, and now they're giving him John Makdessi, who recently beat Ignacio Bahamondes, I guess about a year and a half ago, but he's 37 years old. Nasrat Haqparast is 10 years younger. I think Nasrat wins a decision. He's mostly a striker, and he's mostly a boxer as well, really. I think he should just be able to box with John Makdessi and win a decision that way, but yeah, give me Nasrat to win that one. Now, this is a fight I'm not sure about at all. I'm going to be going with Alessio Di Chirico, but it's not really an Alessio Di Chirico pick. It's a Roman Kopylov fade. Like, Roman Kopylov coming into the UFC undefeated, fought some good guys, was like that Russian guy that a lot of people maybe thought that he was going to do something, and then he lost to Karl Roberson, which ain't a good look, and then he lost to Albert Duraev, and I mean, he actually put on a really good performance against Albert Duraev, to be fair. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Di Chirico. I don't know why for sure. Like I'm surprised this guy still. I thought that he was gonna get cut after he got knocked out by Abdul Razak Al Hassan, to be fair. But he should win. Need to research that fight a lot. Sorry, let's just move on. Robert Whitaker versus Marvin Vettori. I think Whitaker wins, and I just don't see a world where Vettori wins. Honestly, I think that Robert Whitaker, skill for skill, is the best mixed martial artist at 185. I know you could say, oh, Israel Adesanya, but Israel Adesanya is the best striker at 185. But if you can, like, if you say like the best, well-rounded, skilled fighter in MMA and in the UFC at 185, that's Robert Whitaker, in my opinion. Like, he's lost to Izzy twice. Some people think that he lost the second fight with Izzy, that he won the second fight with Izzy. I don't think so. I do think that Izzy won that fight, but anyway, with that aside, Robert Whitaker is the most skilled mixed martial artist on the UFC roster at 185. So, yeah, Marvin Vettori, I don't know what it is about Marvin Vettori, but he's just never really impressed me at all. Even when he fought Israel Adesanya, I was like, why is he fighting Israel Adesanya? Like, he got a title shot off beating Kevin Holland on short notice. He beat Jack Hermansson. Karl Roberson, like, this guy got a title shot off not really the most impressive title run at all, in my opinion. And then he come back and beat Paulo Costa, which is very controversial because Paulo Costa did one eye poke and he got a point taken away from him. Like, I don't know, man. That was weird as well because he fought at 205. But yeah, that's. I've never been super impressed with Marvin Vettori. I mean, this guy really. My dog is just barking. Sorry. I mean, he's tough. Robert Whitaker probably won't finish him. I don't think Whitaker's going to finish him. Paulo Costa hit him with a head kick that he ate behind the ear. Didn't even rock him. So, yeah, Whitaker's not finishing Vettori. I mean, even Whitaker doesn't really finish guys anyway. He hasn't finished a guy in a long time, to my knowledge. So, yeah, give me Whitaker to win by unanimous decision. I think he's going to win 30-27, and it's going to be pretty clear. So, now we've got Cyril Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. Yep, Tai Tuivasa at plus 400, man. I mean, I'm from New Zealand, but I know, like, a few guys that that'll probably will play Tai Tuivasa at plus 400, but, not me, man, not me. I'm one of the few people, actually, that thinks Cyril Gane won the fight with Francis Ngannou. Like, he won the first 2 rounds, or was it he lost the first? Anyway, he won 2 out of 3 of the first 3 rounds, and he won the 5th round. Like, it comes down to the 5th round at the end of the day, because Ngannou clearly won 2 rounds, and Gane clearly won 2 rounds, and it comes down to the 5th round, and Gane won the 5th round. He outstruck Ngannou on the feet, and he had more control time on top of Ngannou in the 5th round as well. Like, it just... Anyways, yeah, I think Gane beat Ngannou. I genuinely believe that too, but, yeah, anyways, like, he beat Derek Lewis by, like, 3rd round KO, which was really good. Went as I expected, and I think this fight would potentially go somewhat similarly. Like, Gane's just too skilled on the feet, too technical on the feet at heavyweight for any of these heavyweights, in my opinion. Like, Tai Tuivasa, he's great in the clinch. I feel like he's got a very underrated clinch game, and that's where he's going to win the fight, is if he clinches with Cyril Gane. But Cyril Gane's movement is something else. Like, this guy's going to keep Tai Tuivasa at distance, keep him at range, and I think he's going to pick him apart and eventually find a finish. I mean, I know Tai Tuivasa's got that iron shin, but we're talking about a guy that has been knocked out a couple of times in his UFC career. Like, what happened to this guy was he was on a pretty bad run. Like, he got knocked out by Junior Dos Santos, which was too much of a step up in competition, in my opinion. And then he got subbed and beaten up pretty badly in general by Sergey Spivak. So, yeah, he went on a 3-fight losing streak, and now he's really bounced back, big time. Like, this is a title elimination belt for Tuivasa, in my opinion. Maybe even Ciryl Gane could potentially argue a title shot off this fight, but I think Ciryl Gane should win this one. I don't see Tuivasa winning unless he uses his clinch and then knocks him out off the clinch. Like, it's definitely a reality. Like, it's definitely something that could happen. But it's just a bad stylistic matchup for Tuivasa. It really is, and I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a great chance. But I think I'm gonna have to side with Ciryl Gane to win that fight. So that's the breakdown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Early predictions, as always, that was. Full card breakdown coming up. Obviously, there was a couple of fights where I've got no idea what I'm talking about. I took the week off, man. You can't blame me. I mean, I still had to research Dana White's Contender Series, and I still am, because we've got a stacked Dana White's Contender Series card coming up in week 7. Stacked. So I've been looking into that, because I really want to get that card right, because that's the best Dana White's Contender Series card on paper we've ever seen, is week 7 of 2022. In fact, it's so good. I will show you it right now. Before I end the video. How long have we been going for? 16 minutes. Way too long, but so you guys know what I'm talking about, I need to mention it. So you got Teresa Blader versus Naoya Amira, which is cool, I guess, but Teresa Blader, when she was 18 years old, beat Lucy Pudilova after Lucy Pudilova got cut from the UFC, and Lucy Pudilova was recently on a main card of a pay-per-view, you know what I mean? Now, Ismail Bonfim versus Nariman Abasov. Look at their records. 17-3 versus 28-3. Do I need to say more? Jimmy Lawson at heavyweight versus Kevin Swvaski. Kevin Swvaski, very skilled heavyweight. Jimmy Lawson, former D1 wrestler with power on the hands. Gabriel Bonfim, the brother of Ismail Bonfim, taking on Trey Waters, who's a very short notice opponent. So that's not as good of a fight against Felix Klinkhammer, which was original, but Gabriel Bonfim should win that one. He should be a massive favourite. Yeah, he is. Anyway, yeah, and Rodolfo Bellator versus Vitor Petrino, a rematch where I might be picking the guy that lost the first fight, which is Bellator. So I'm hyped, guys. I'm so hyped. But let's get it, boys. Let's get it. I'm picking Ciryl Gane in the main event. Yeah. What other fights am I looking forward to? The opener, I'm looking forward to Gomez versus Aarons. I don't know anything about them, but that's what makes it so good. Well, it's just something weird about UFC and me. It's like, you could put anyone on a UFC card and I'd watch it, and I'd be more excited for it than I would another card, which is, I know it's like a very like casual take, but there's just something about UFC with me that I just like it. It's weird to say. I know that's a really weird thing to say. Like, I was watching ONE FC, I love ONE FC. I love the Muay Thai fights. I've never seen a boring Muay Thai fight ever. I genuinely haven't. I don't think that they exist either. That's why I love ONE FC, man. They mix it up with Muay Thai, with kickboxing, and with MMA as well, which is awesome. But yeah, something about UFC, I just get like a more hyped up vibe to it. Like, I watch a lot of other things. I watch Eternal MMA, which is the biggest Australian promotion. I also watch LFA quite a bit. The Brazilian cards and the US cards. I watch yeah, that too. But I watch like CFFC if it's on like on a Saturday for me, like, because it's on like a Friday night in UFC. But yeah, I've been rambling for about 5 minutes now, so I'll leave you to it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you made it this far, you've made it through the rants, you've made it through the ramblings. If you haven't liked the video, please do, and I'll see you in the next one, man, which will be, I have no idea what the next video is going to be about, but yeah, you'll see me in 48 hours time for my full card breakdown and prediction. So thank you guys, see you later.